Hi, I'm Tony.
And I'm Nikki, and we are the Thompsons.
Nikki and I met and married in 1998, joining 5 of my 6 kids.
With my 2.
And
by 2000, we had Freddie. Starting out, we were very confident in our own strength.
However, with no foundation in Christ, our first marriage quickly corrupted. Not understanding the tactics and strategies of the devil, we soon began to face difficulty.
We began lying to one another.
There began to be drug and alcohol use,
Nights and weekends spent away from the home,
and infidelity in our marriage.
leading to our separation,
Criminal activity that eventually led to my arrest.
and then our divorce.
Incarcerated, I turned to God with many questions, asking how we had fallen this far.
And as for me, I would just shake my fists at God and use the bitterness of my divorce to justify my drug use.
Having been exposed to church as a young boy, I began to wonder if I could perhaps find some answers in the Bible. But would the God of the Bible even speak to me?
For me, those 3.5 years while Tony was in prison, my life spiraled out of control. Having become a methamphetamine addict, I found myself unemployed, moving with my 3 boys from place to place, loose living, and hating Tony and this God that he had spoke of so much.
Amazingly, God began to speak to me through the scriptures, and I soon realized that my stay in prison was not for my punishment, but for my re-education, with Jesus Christ as my teacher. For the next 3.5 years, I sat at the feet of Jesus, and I continually tried to share what I was learning with Nikki with each letter I sent her.
And I had absolutely no interest in restoration with my husband upon his release. Seriously, zilch, nada, at all.
Even though Nikki and I had divorced by now, I signed each and every letter that I sent her, your husband, Tony.
And I would laugh each time I read it.
Eventually, my release date finally came, and I began seeking God for direction regarding Nikki and our children. Within a week, God had opened a door for me to travel to see Nikki. Here is where the next phase of our journey was to begin.
When Tony showed up at my door, the most amazing thing ever happened. Somehow, all the bitterness, the anger, the hatred and resentment, it was all just washed away. And there was nothing but love for Tony. I now know that that is the God kind of forgiveness.
Shortly after our meeting, God moved us to a small community in northern Illinois. It was there that we began to bond all over again. June 24, 2006, we remarried. But this time around, we included another strand in the rope of our marriage.
The last 9 years for us has been about growing in Christ,
Following His instruction,
training up our children with a strong foundation in Christ,
sharing with others what God has done and is still doing in our lives and marriage. Obviously, due to time constraints, there are many gaps in this snapshot of our testimony. There is much that we could add, some of it happy, some of it sad, but all of it together brought us to know and love the God of restoration, who is now the centerpiece of our lives.
This is a passion that God has placed within us, a fire burning in our hearts to share the world that God is a God of restoration, that He wants to take the broken pieces of our lives and bring healing to families that are under attack. We would love to come share with your church what God has done for us and how not to put God in a box, to allow Him to do the impossible. Please contact us if you'd like to hear more.